So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you exactly how to style wavy hair. As you can see in this beginning clip, her hair is pretty straight, and that's because she had it up in a bun for a few days, which really stretched out her waves. So we're going to start with the Wella Curls line. We're going to go in with the shampoo. What I really love about this shampoo is that it is sulfate-free, paraben-free, and silicone-free, which is completely safe for all curl types. Notice how I'm really trying to make sure that the water is nice and warm. You never want to go in with really hot water to cleanse the scalp or really cold water. The reason behind that is because very hot water tends to scorch the cuticle, which is that outer layer of your hair, making it very frizzy. And then also going in with very cold water can seal the cuticle and not allow product to get inside of it. So I'm going in with the shampoo, making sure that I'm just getting it right at her scalp. That's very important. At your scalp, that's where a lot of the oils, dirt, sweat builds up. That's where everything starts to harbor. And so in order to have very nice, healthy hair and very good hair growth, you really want to make sure that you have a clean foundation. And I recommend for anyone with wavy hair, you can absolutely wash your hair 2 to 3 times per week. As I start to rinse out the shampoo, you'll notice that the product starts to travel from the scalp through the hair shaft towards the ends. So if anyone is thinking, well, if I just shampoo my scalp, how am I going to clean the rest of my hair? As you start to rinse the product out, it will go ahead and cleanse the rest of your hair. The reason why you never want to initially go in just for the ends is because the ends are the oldest parts of your hair and also the driest parts of your hair. So really start to focus on the scalp, and then as you rinse everything out, everything will get nice and clean. Now I'm going in with the Wella Curl conditioner. And when applying conditioner, you never want to go in at the top. You actually want to do the opposite, start at the mids and bottoms. The reason behind that is because if you go ahead and add conditioner to your scalp, what's going to happen is you're going to clog the follicles, causing dandruff, itchiness. In the long run, you can even cause hair loss. So you just want to make sure that that's a nice, clean foundation for healthy hair growth. Now we're going in with the wet brush. This brush is specifically designed to detangle hair while wet without breaking the hair, without really causing stress to the hair. You can also go in with just your fingers, however you prefer would be perfectly fine. Now we're going to go in section by section. You never want to take the hair as a whole, and the reason behind that is because you can end up really missing spots, especially I find right in the back in this area here. A lot of times it's very dry right at that scalp, and that's because we're not parting the hair. So notice how I'm starting right at the ends and working my way up. You always want to start at the ends because that is the best way to detangle. Now I'm really making sure that everything is nice and distributed as well. And one of the biggest secrets to making sure you have frizz-free hair, notice how I'm adding lots of water to her curls. That's very important. Water is the main source of hydration. And so if you're not adding enough water to your curls, to your waves, what ends up happening is that your hair is dehydrated. And a lot of times we think that adding more product helps with that, right? Maybe we can mask it with a styling cream or mask it with a gel, but conditioner is the medicine and the styling product is the band-aid. So it's during this part when you're adding conditioner or a leave-in conditioner that you're really making sure your hair is as hydrated as possible. Again, going in with water, really making sure that A, her hair isn't weighed down with the product, and B, she has lots of water in her hair. Now we're choosing the part. And that's important. Once you're in the shower, you just try to figure out where your part is. The reason behind that is once you step out of the shower, you really don't want to mess with your hair too much because messing with your hair can cause a lot of frizz. And so now that I'm done detangling and distributing product, what I'm really looking for is making sure that the conditioner is not sitting on top of the hair. Anytime you see a little bit of white on top of the hair, especially for a wavy girl, that definitely means that the product is way too heavy and that you have to rinse some out. I've decided to go in and style her hair with the 72-hour anti-frizz foam by the Well & Nutricurl line as well. Notice how I have her head completely forward and all of the water that you see coming out of her hair is essential. You have to make sure that when you're styling your waves, your hair is extremely wet. Don't be afraid to go ahead and clump everything together. Do not rake anything in and go from the bottom all the way up to the scalp. Preferably, you would do this in the shower, very wet. Now I'm going to go ahead, because this foam is a little bit on the lightweight side, really going to make sure that I go in and I go right to that scalp. I turned her head to the side just to make sure that I go right to that scalp. Now I'm going in with the styling gel, again from that same line of the Wella Nutra Curl. Putting just a few pumps. And right on top of that foam, I'm going in and scrunching everything together. And it's very important to flip your head forward. This is because when you flip your head forward, you're creating a lot more volume. If you were just standing up straight and going in and scrunching your curl, the hair coming right out of your root is laying flat instead of coming upside down, which allows it to have more volume. And so that's why you want to go ahead and flip your head forward. Now with the microfiber towel, I'm going to go in and take out any extra water. You do not want to use a traditional cotton towel. That will frizz up the cuticle, and we really want to make sure that we have as much definition as possible. If you do not have a microfiber towel, a good hack is to use an old cotton t-shirt. And you can see immediately her waves are starting to revive. Now we're going to go in and diffuse fully on medium heat, medium speed with my Curlico. I highly recommend that wavy girls go in and diffuse their hair, if not fully, at least halfway through. The reason behind this is because in order to really accentuate those waves, you want to set it. And by setting it, that allows for your hair to continue to stay wavy for longer, and it really will accentuate your curls. Now, I highly recommend that you do not diffuse on high heat, high speed. The reason behind that is because you will make your hair extremely frizzy, even if that means you're in a rush. Also, I have this client with her head back just for comfort. However, when you are at home, you can go ahead and flip your head forward and diffuse that way. Another tip is that if you're diffusing and you feel as though your hair is starting to unravel or get a little bit frizzy, take a second and add a little bit of hairspray. This is from the Innocence brand. So I sprayed it all over. Now I'm going in and I'm hovering on top. The reason why I'm hovering instead of going in and diffusing traditionally is so that the hairspray dries down a little bit, setting the hair, making it just a little bit crunchy, and then I'm going in and I'm going to diffuse fully from there. And this is the final look. Her waves look so hydrated, healthy, and perfect. In order to preserve these waves, I would recommend sleeping in a pineapple with a satin pillowcase, and to refresh the next day, going in with a little bit of conditioner and water in a spray bottle and some of the foam that she previously had used in the routine.